We're not doing our kids any kind of service when we lead them to believe that they're proficient when they're not.
My daughter's a 13-year-old seventh grader. She attends a middle school. And prior to the Common Core standards, I was always really surprised at the assignments that came home. There was literally no intent to learn writing. She did not know how to write.
I think right now some kids are showing up at college and they're being assessed and told that they have to take remedial math or remedial reading or English classes because they were not told sooner, hey, you're not meeting the standards for your grade level. And I think parents are frustrated and the students are certainly frustrated. It would be better to deal with that earlier in first, second, and third grade and get your kid on track to be truly successful and ready to go to college.
I'm a higher education instructor. I see it firsthand. I have students coming into my class that can't write, that they can't do the basic math. And you're spending thousands of dollars putting your kids through remedial courses when it's not necessary.
Where are my quotation marks?
One of the things that a recent Gallup poll told us was that there are 3 billion people looking for work in this world and only 1.2 billion jobs available. We have to make sure that our students are the best prepared in the world to attain those jobs. Furthermore, when we look forward, we look into the year 2018. 60% of all jobs will need post-secondary education. If we're not preparing our students to be successful if they choose to make that choice, we're doing them a disservice.
This is an increasingly competitive global economy. We're not just competing with other states around the nation, we're competing with other places around the world. So it's important to be sure that the young people of America and those who are at mid-levels in their career have the skills and education necessary to compete. We have to ensure that through our educational system, through skills training, through continuing education. I believe that that's the only way we're going to succeed. I've often said that the performance of our students today will be a key factor in determining the competitiveness of our nation tomorrow.
Common Core is a way to ensure students are prepared for post-high school.
The most exciting thing about Common Core right now is the fact that we've finally gotten to a point where we have a set of standards that are competitive across the states.
Higher standards are critical for the students in our district, primarily because we are facing new expectations for the high school graduate and also for college and career readiness. Our students will be competing with peers their age in a global society, and for global economics and success, we have to raise the bar for what our students are expected to learn and to be able to do.
A typical day with the old standards, unfortunately, would have been some drill and kill, information-based. A typical day now with the new standards has more to do with analytical thinking, problem solving, critical thinking. Specifically in math, it's more about, instead of covering a whole lot, inch deep, now we're going smaller and going deeper. In ELA, another thing is reading more nonfiction, reading more, giving kids opportunity to read something, and then not only will they write evidence-based, but then also even articulate it out loud. So a lot more opportunity to access problem solving and critical thinking and analytical thinking as opposed to just sharing facts.
That's a great word. And what do you mean by saying he's half-hearted? What evidence could you use to support that?
When we talk about making sure that our kids graduate ready for college, ready for career, this can't just be rhetoric. It has to mean something. And the only way that it means something is if we define at the beginning what it means to be ready for college, what it means to be ready for career. That's one of the reasons that we've been so focused on implementing the Common Core standards well here in Delaware and in many other states across the country. We know that our kids will rise to the expectations we set for them. We need to make sure we're expecting enough.
The new standards are so important for students today because the standards that are taught in the classroom builds the foundation for what they're going to be ready for college and career and preparing them to be successful adults.
My experience is that when you place high expectations on children, that especially for mine, that it forces them to be challenged to succeed and to extend themselves and to grow. I definitely want them to be able to function even beyond the primary school, the high school, so that they can be competitive even in college. And a lot of that is placing those high expectations on them.
The standards are very rigorous, but they're also very step-by-step and intentional about building on skills that students have in place. And so as they build, they're continuing to understand what they need to learn to be ready for exiting school and going into college and career and starting their lives.
Students are no longer going into jobs that require a routine process. They have to use their problem-solving skills, critical thinking skills, and higher expectations to be successful in the real world.
The math that we're teaching now is very rigorous. It's got a lot of depth to it, and the real-life application is all over the place. When you guys get an apartment in real life, you're going to have to sign a lease. It's a contract that says, here's how much I'm going to pay a month, here's what's covered in my rent. So I think the Common Core challenges us to find those real-life applications, and it's not just worksheets, and it's not just doing the problems to do the problems. It's a challenge to us as teachers to find those real-life applications and to make those connections for students.
As we look at trying to hold our students to a higher standard that existed before, I'm a very good living example as a parent. I have a 34-year-old, a 31-year-old, and a 13-year-old. I don't want my 13-year-old to have the same education and the same instructional framework and the same learning standards that my 34 and 31-year-old had. I want her to be competitive in a global society that's the 21st century, not the 20th century.
I want my child to be college and career ready. I have a child with special needs, and I have a vested interest in making sure my student has been able to achieve those standards that he has required, so he will be able to be college and career ready.
Common Core is an exceptional framework for our kids to ensure that they not only can compete locally, but globally. The Common Core provides our children, no matter where they live, no matter what zip code, it provides them a fair chance to get a quality education. It enhances their critical thinking skills, their language skills, and this is very important in our 21st century economy.
By investing in Common Core, by implementing fully, supporting our teachers in that implementation, we're helping with economic development and investing in our children.
Let's be proactive. Let's prepare them ahead of time so that they're ready to hit the ground running when they get out of high school. This is the most important investment we can make in our future.
My name is Dawn Hines.
My name is Lawrence Q.
My name is Kana Edison.
I support college and career ready standards because this is about our kids' future.
I support college and career readiness because it prepares our students for what is to come after high school.
They help children focus on collaboration, and they help them be prepared for what the future is going to push them to achieve.
We need to set the bar high for our students. We need to help them persevere in difficult problems and help them to be successful.